All right, so we got our chicken, okay? Opening up the refrigerator door. Please don't mind my messy refrigerator, but we are sticking this little guy right in here so that it can be thawed amongst all the other crazy amounts of food in here, okay? Whether it's beef, whether it's chicken, here we go, whether it's fish or other perishables, what's the best way to thaw this? Do you, number one, say take your meat, this is ground beef, do you put it in a pot and then add hot water? Take a peek here. I got my hot water in a pan. Also, I've got my beef. Is this how you thaw your food? And is it safe to do it this way? Of course, I'm going to give you the answer. Let me know if you do this. Or are you one of these folks that you need to make some dinner? So what do you do before you go to work? You take out the meat out of the freezer and you put it on the counter to thaw all day, leaving it at room temperature. Do you do this? Guys, if you do either of these, by the way, you are not doing what we want you to do. By the way, those methods are not safe. Believe it or not. That's right. We were talking about safe ways to thaw food today. I'm going to get this out of the hot water and dry this little guy off. I'm going to tell you, well, I've told you what ways are not safe, believe it or not. And I think a lot of us thaw out our foods that way, don't you think? But I'm also going to tell you how to safely thaw out your food. Guys, I'm Dr. Jen Caudle, practicing family physician, on-air health expert. First of all, the foods we are talking about are foods such as raw meat, cooked meat, poultry, eggs, and perishable items. And you say, what's the big deal with, thawing it and thawing it right and blah, blah, blah. Can't I just set it on my counter and just let it thaw? Well, let me tell you why you don't want to go doing that with the chicken or the fish or whatever. And the reason why is because when meat or perishable items get to be over 40 degrees Fahrenheit, bacteria that are already present before freezing can actually start to multiply in the food. So when you think of things like food poisoning and stuff like that, well, that's one of the things that we worry about is foods that say are not properly either frozen, kept frozen, etc. So that's one of the reasons why we have to thaw our food safely. So you also don't want to leave your food sitting at room temperature for greater than 2 hours. Also, folks, do not thaw your food in the garage, in the basement, in the car, in the dishwasher. I think that's like a trend or something. I don't know. In plastic garbage bags or outside on the porch. So that's not what we want to do. So how do we want to thaw our food? Well, first of all is we want to take our little guys here and we actually want to plan ahead the best that we can, and we want to thaw them in the refrigerator. That's right. All right, so we got our chicken, okay? Opening up the refrigerator door. Please don't mind my messy refrigerator, but we are sticking this little guy right in here so that it can be thawed amongst all the other crazy amounts of food in here, okay? You're gonna put this in here. You're gonna put, I don't know, what else do we need? We're gonna put our poultry. This is one safe way to thaw our foods, is to put it in the refrigerator, okay? Now, let's say you don't want to do it that way. That's fine. We've got other safe ways. The next way you can thaw your food safely is actually using this pan again, putting water in it, but this time instead of hot water, we are using cold water. Hold on. All right, now we got our cold water, not our hot water, okay? We're gonna put our ground beef in here. You can do a cold water thaw just fine. That is safe, okay? That is the second way you can do it. And the third way you can safely thaw your food is you can literally just open up the microwave. Now, of course, I am not going to stick this in its plastic in the microwave, but you can put this in a bowl or whatever, frozen, and put it in our trusty microwave to cook. That is safe to do. Those are the 3 ways that we can safely thaw our food. Now, a couple of things you need to know about those first of all. First of all, when we talk about the refrigerator, when we're thawing things in the refrigerator, you got to plan ahead. You know that if you stick this in the refrigerator to thaw, it's going to take a long time. And also, if you have like a bigger turkey, like a turkey or whatever, you know it's going to take forever to thaw in the refrigerator. So you're going to have to plan ahead. So think about that. Remember that the cold water thaw, using this little guy here, this is going to be faster than thawing in the refrigerator, okay? But remember, when you do that, you're going to need a leak-proof bag. You're going to need for your meat or substance to be really sort of contained and wrapped nicely, because you don't want water to get in onto the meat, number one, because that's kind of gross, and number two, you don't want any leakage to contaminate the food with bacteria from the outside. So that's going to be super, super important. You want to change the water every 30 minutes or so if you do the cold water thaw. And before you refreeze the food, let's say that you've done your cold water thaw, you put your chicken or whatever in there, you need to cook the chicken before you decide to refreeze it. So if you go ahead and thaw it this way, you got to cook it, okay? And finally, the last part with the microwave thaw that we were talking about, totally you can do that. That's a great way to thaw your foods, and it can be safe that way. You also with this want to cook right after you thaw your food, because some of the food may actually start to cook while it's in the microwave, sort of defrosting and stuff like that, because the temperature is raised. So once you sort of thaw it in the microwave, you need to cook it right afterwards, okay? That's going to be very, very important. Cook it before refreezing as well. Remember, if you don't have time to do any of these 3 methods that are safe, and just to recount, you can use a cold water thaw, you can do that. You can also do a microwave thaw, or you can put your items in the refrigerator to thaw as well. But if you have time for any of that, you actually can cook foods from their frozen state, directly from their frozen state. You can actually do that. That's safe to do, because at least you'll know that it was frozen and it didn't have time to warm up enough where bacteria could multiply. So that's okay as well, just understanding that when you cook, foods from its frozen state, it will take longer to cook, okay? Guys, I hope this is helpful. Guys, I'm Dr. Jen Caudle. I'm a practicing family physician. I'm an on-air health expert and a video creator. I do daily videos, COVID, and all sorts of stuff. Also, share this video with others. Guys, I hope this is helpful. I'll see you soon.